coming to you live, YouTube live. But give me 1 second here, because give me 1 second here, because I don't want to lose the thing. I'm just gonna send it to certain people. Alright, so salutations, the X-Men's coming to you live. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back on here on YouTube Live, because I tried getting on GrogX, and that, I love Elon. I don't love him. I'm okay with him, but I don't know what that is with the Twitter Spaces. That thing is just that they need a bigger camera angle on that. That goes without saying. So now I'm actually on a live feed now. Early this morning, Sunday morning. I haven't really done one of these in a while, and now I actually have peace of mind that I'm in an apartment, so I can finally do a YouTube live about these things. So I've been seeing a lot of like backlash for President Trump and what he's been doing with the tariffs on every part of the country. I think people need to understand economically. Is the stock market going to crash? Yeah, it's going to crash. It's crashing. It's already happening to me too. You know, I'm getting locked out of a lot of my apps where I would send money and receive. I can receive money, but I can't send money. I'm a little outraged by that, but at the same time, I also know at the end game of this is you have to actually physically be able to go out there, and you have to be able to perform. You have to be able to, you know, they didn't bring Trump in there and expect him to be like a sweetheart and go in there and just, you know, everything's okay. Or no, it's not okay. It hasn't been okay, and it started with Zelensky in Ukraine. It did. Vladimir Zelensky is a con artist, and we know this. At the end of the day, Zelensky has pulled this notion that, well, poor us, help us, we need it. They've been needing it for about 3 to 4 years now. Ironically, as soon as criminal Joe Biden went in there and his regime and did nothing, and basically just handed billions of dollars that wasn't even theirs away to Zelensky. That's exactly how it went. Maybe they gave weapons, maybe they didn't, I don't know. I really don't know what that regime did. I don't think that they had good intent, whatever they were doing. They didn't fix this country the way they were supposed to. You know, I seen protesters protesting kind of around the corner here a little bit ago, and, you know, everybody's saying, oh, he's taking Social Security, he's taking it all, he's got to go, we got to get him out. And in Philadelphia, again, a city that's lawless, that has no anybody that will act and actually try to stop the violence that happens in Philadelphia. They continue to let people go out in the streets and protest, and then entice more violence that could possibly happen by doing that. Because Philadelphia doesn't know how to do better than that. They haven't, and they haven't. As long as Democrats are running it, you can't expect it. You know, they've set the bar that they feel like everything is okay. They want guns to go. They said NRA is going to be Republican payoffs and all that stuff, and you know, that's what their cop out is, and that's what it's been for a while. But it's not. At the end of the day, do I trust all the Republicans? No, absolutely. Probably more than half of them are just as bad as the Democrats. To answer the question of that, if anybody asks that, but I will say this: he's got a plan. Trump has a plan. He does. It's going to tank the economy out. You know, putting the tariffs out there is just a scare. It's a pull. It's to make people realize that when you're sending something into the country and you're getting a bigger cut out of it, that you're not going to get that cut anymore. That's where the 25% comes out. This is to make them stop doing it. Now, is it going to get rid of a lot of things? Yeah. Are farmers going to take shots? Yeah, they are. They're gonna take a lot of hits because and financially, um, with some of the backing of it. But at the same time, things are going to get better. They have to get better. The only thing that I worry about is that after 4 years, the Democrats are going to go right back in there and they're going to destroy it again. And I say this with conviction. I hope that J.D. Vance is ready or whoever else is ready to go in there, because if they get another lunatic Democrat in there, the country is probably going to be doomed, because they're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again and think that that's the result. Countless people have passed away because of this incompetence and these lies. At the end of the day, it's going to continue to happen because for some reason they feel like they want to put a dollar sign in front of a human being. And they have. I've seen it with my own two eyes when my mom passed away, and I don't care how anybody sees it or says it. Um, they said that the vaccine was okay. It's not. And they used it as a cop-out. They used it to get Trump out of office in 2020. They used it to get those mystery 81 million votes. And I'm still not over that, even though it's over. I still don't understand why you would use people's lives as a scapegoat to try to get votes. But then I realized, like, that's exactly what the whole plan was. It had nothing to do with the virus. It had to do with getting votes so that some Democrat could go in there and destroy whatever Trump did. And they're going to do it again if someone else gets in. It's just the way it is. It's the plan. It's already been the plan since day one, no matter how you look at it. Even with the border and all that stuff. That's that's probably about 20%. Because your rates are coming up because you're paying for people that don't live in the country, aren't supposed to live in the country, and they are. But at the same time, I see the point of the Democrats is, well, they're already here, we can do it. No, because you want to do cheap labor. That's why you want that's what you want the illegal immigrants in here. I'm sorry to say that. You want them in here because you want them to pay them like $8 to $10 an hour. And hey, you'll get them for 6 months to 8 months, and then they'll want to realize that they're getting paid $8 to $10 an hour, and then they're going to want a job that pays better, and especially if they have families. And then if their family comes over, which is probably going to be almost impossible now, I think. I don't know how that works, but at the same time, again, like I wake up every day and I have a mentality of, you got to keep pushing, no matter what. You still have to get up every day. You have to shower, eat, bathroom breaks, stuff like that. But you realize that you have to realize that the internal side of this is that, like, something has to change, right? It's been going on for a while now. And you see how it works. Like, same thing with the Democrats with Will Smith. They give Will Smith a street. He doesn't deserve a street. His TV show is about a place in L.A. It wasn't in Philadelphia, so why does Philadelphia give him a street? You give a guy like Billy Freeway, a street. That makes sense. He actually does for the community. I see it on his IGs. He's a great guy. He deserves a street name, not Will Smith. Okay? At the end of the day, Will Smith is a fraud, in my opinion. I think he's always been a fraud. He's always trying to be in movies and pretend like he's like the best that ever came out of Philadelphia. I mean, gaslights. It is what it is, Same time, President Trump. They're gonna this thing about Trump and the fact that they think that he can't fix this is crazy. I think he can. He can stop this. Now, I think maybe inflation probably goes up. It's probably going to go up a lot. But at the same time, you're going to have to take a hit now in order to get back. I mean, you know what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to raise the price of working. When people work, instead of $15, it's going to be $20 an hour. That's all. They're going to have to come out of their pockets, companies, and they're going to have to pay more. Is it going to destroy small business? I don't know. I think in the line of, food services, stuff like that, like restaurants and stuff like that. I think it is going to hurt them a lot because of the way products are distributed inside of it. But I feel like a lot of these businesses know that that's going to happen, and unfortunately, you have to do it. You have to roll with what Trump's doing. Unfortunately, people want to argue about it, but at least Trump is shaking the tree, as I say, to get things going. But the Democrats did nothing. They just said, oh, well, it's more money. It doesn't matter. We're Democrats. We're going to do it anyway, and then we're going to lie to the people. I get it. Look, it's not something that's unknown. Like Stephen A. Smith and, all these people that he gets on there, and, he plays the side of Trump, and then all of a sudden he doesn't. He doesn't know what side he's on because ESPN pays him $20 million a year. And it does. Stephen A., I think sometimes he has good points, but then he starts talking about things that just don't. You're just trying to heed to make people still like you. Just say what you mean. And stop worrying about what people like you or they don't. Like, honestly, if people don't like me, I don't know. I don't talk to many people. And, I get it. But President Trump is doing what he can. Obviously, there's still riots in the streets. Gaza's still going at it a little bit. Not as much. At least Trump has acted a little bit on it. Unfortunately, there's no, we'll see. You have to be... He's handling the country like a business. He's not a politician. As people got to realize this. He's trying to handle like a businessman and get deals done to the point where people hopefully respect you. Hopefully. And I think people don't really realize this. They think, well, he's a dictator. He did this, he did that. He's, well, you can think what you want about him. But at the end of the day, he's out there trying to make moves. And I didn't see Biden out there doing it. I didn't see Obama did, but did he really? He's making a lot of in-pocket deals. He made a lot of money out of that presidency. Don't ever let him tell you he didn't, because he did. Bush, the same thing. Honestly, I think Bush became a Democrat quietly out of nowhere. The son. So yeah, I think people need to just kind of stay with Trump. Hey, look, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I still truly believe that President Trump is doing what he can do. He has to fix this. He has to be the bad guy and have people hate him all around the world in order for him to get a deal done to fix this. He has to make moves, and countries are going to hate him. They hate him already. Some countries love him, some countries hate him, It is what it is. Zelensky's seeing that firsthand when he tried to come in here like a big macho man. But meanwhile, even as far as today, more chaos is happening in Ukraine because Zelensky wouldn't sign that treaty. Now, every time somebody gets, passes away, I want to say it nicely, people pass away by incidental contact, I hope they know that Zelensky is the reason that this is happening, because he won't act. So when he gets the Nobel Peace Prize, which was a fraudulent thing to do, very disrespectful for America to allow that to happen, in my opinion, if you're a patriot, you would say that. He should have acted, signed the treaty, stop playing gaslighting games to get money. And he's not going to do it. He's going to sit there and wait till this regime's over, or this, 10 years over, or 4 years, and then he's going to go in there and he's going to try to get more money. And if it's a Democrat, we're doomed. That inflation, that $8 eggs is going to be $16. So keep that in mind, because they've already proven it once, and they'll prove it again, and they'll lie to you, and they'll say what they want. So anyway, I hope President Trump, I wish for his safety. I do, because I know that there's a lot of people that don't like him out there. Might be the most hated person in the entire world, maybe in world history, close to it. But he's got to keep doing what he has to do. He has to keep making moves, and people have to either respect it or don't. Not a lot of people don't, but people say, "Oh, tariffs, tariffs, tariffs." I'm like, well, what? Because the distributors have to pay to ship their product over. Maybe that should have happened a long time ago. I don't know U.S. history as much as I do, but it's got to happen. So anyway, I'm going to get off. I just felt it. And people that don't understand Trump now, and they're on the fence to this, and actually have common sense, you got to roll with Trump. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going to get off. X-Man out.